What is up, guys? Giant Jace here, and welcome back to the club. And today I want to try something a little bit different. I want to talk about people who inspire me, because let's face it, nobody just gets into this content creation without actually watching other people and taking inspiration from. I mean, no one just goes and says, yeah, I just want to make YouTube. Like, what type of YouTube? So I just want to briefly talk about the people that I've watched over the years that make me go, you know what? Yeah, I want to try doing that. So it's going to be a mixture of YouTubers and streamers because, as you know, I kind of do both. So I stream on Twitch, I stream here on YouTube, but I also make edited content like this for YouTube as well. And I want to talk about the people that I watched back in the day and who I still currently watch and tell you guys what about them inspired me to do this content creation thing. Now, if you look at the people I'm talking about, you could probably see where a lot of my inspiration comes from because, you know, like I said, like these people like do these things in a particular way or talk about these subjects in a particular way that gets me going and says, you know what, I want to try that myself. I want to try being able to talk about the things that I like and see if I have an audience for that. Now, if you're enjoying the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, do all those things YouTube tells us to do. And I'm gonna go off with the first two that kind of got me into it, and that was obviously James Rolfe and Doug Walker, the angry video game nerd and the nostalgia critic, respectively. The angry video game nerd I saw briefly on YouTube at first with his first few episodes that were part of his Old City Massacre stuff. So obviously it's Castlevania 2, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And that's in turn where I found a group of people that I'll talk about in a bit that also inspired me to do content creation. But then I kind of followed him over to Game Trailers where all of his other videos were hosted. And other than like reading the articles of Sean Baby in the old EGM magazines, really wasn't a whole lot of people doing like negative or like bad video game reviews out there. And it kind of spoke because he was part of, you know, my generation growing up of, you know, the Atari 2600 and then the NES and SNES. So it was kind of interesting to look at this guy, you know, making these videos about the old NES games that we think we love but are actually bad. Now, I have made a video before about the first season of AVGN and how I think that maybe he's just a little bit too harsh on the games. I mean, I don't think TMNT on NES is as bad as, you know, the nerd thinks. But then again, you know, we want to try and separate the character from the actual man. Do I think James Rolfe hates TMNT? I mean, I haven't heard him say anything to the contrast. I know that other people in the Cinema Massacre group have made defense videos to say, like, I'm sorry about the first TMNT video. I will die on that hill and say that this game is not that bad. But I made a video going back on all those. It's like at the time, yeah, maybe, you know, they influence your opinions about said NES games. But then you go back and play them a bit and you're just like, were they really all that bad? I mean, you know, they kind of had to work with what they had back in the day. But it was a fresh take, and so much so that people started to emulate them. I mean, there are plenty of videos out there of people that have done the whole angry video game nerd clone. There was a ton of clones. We don't need to talk about the obvious one, but I just think he put a lot of entertainment value into it as well, because like he did the skits, especially around like the horror stuff, because horror was kind of one of his favorite film genres. So did a lot of, you know, like, oh, the killer in the movie and the game is coming to kill me now. So we always, like, you know, growing up in YouTube, it was, you know, that was kind of the formula, and I thought it was pretty entertaining. So much so is that, wait, was there somebody else like this but just for movies and TV shows? So that's when you enter in Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic. Now, I found the nostalgia critic about the same time I was just kind of looking for more AVGN content to consume, and that's when I found this rivalry that they had been in, that it was just kind of like a back and forth, mostly one-sided by Doug Walker, until like James actually reached out to him and wanted to collab, and then they just had this, you know, online feud, and I thought it was pretty entertaining. And then it made me go back and watch some of his, you know, older videos, like his Transformers review, his cartoon hero, All-Stars Hero Rescue, the drug PSA cartoon that we all grew up on, the one that had Michelangelo and the Muppets and all that. And I thought it was pretty entertaining, them going back to this old stuff. Again, it was kind of playing on this stick of, you know, because this movie is nostalgic, it is automatically bad, and he's pointing out all the plot holes and such. I mean, like, that kind of inspired a few things back in the day. Like, I think if you go back and watch some of my earlier stuff too, try to inspire and emulate a whole lot of that in the video system, because that was, quote A.J. Simpson, that was the style at the time. So going back and watching all those old stuff there, like, it is a capsule in its time. Now, James still continues on to this day doing the Angry Video Game Nerd. I will say that some of his stuff has been a little lax because, not every game is terrible. He can find the good in some stuff, but I mean, of course, he still has to throw in that colorful humor because that's what the people come to see. Nostalgia Critic, I've unfortunately kind of fell off a little bit. I'll tune in like every now and then, but I see like Doug has kind of like chilled out a little bit over the years after, like, killing the character and bringing them back. Has kind of mellowed out a little bit and doesn't like really tear movies anew, but he kind of puts his own little spin on it, and I kind of appreciate that. I think, like, they kind of pioneered the whole angry reviewer, but I think also they're trying to mellow out the angry reviewer, because let's face it, it's kind of a fad that's phased out. But I always appreciated those early years of entertainment, and doing those types of videos kind of what inspired me to start making content myself. But in talking about the nerd, I have to talk about the site that he was hosted on for many years, that has greatly evolved over the years. So we're going to go all the way back to screwattack.com, started up by two guys, Handsome Tom and Stuttering Craig, basically doing top 10 videos about various video game topics, hosting an Angry Video Game Nerd, but also doing the Video Game Vault. So talking about old school games, and just whether they should be played today or if there's something that you should check out. And when I found out about Nerd, I found out about Screw Attack because of the pairing with Game Trailers. So I started going to the site and then watching all their original content, and then through ups and downs, I don't need to tell you the story. You all pretty much know the story. If you know anything about Screw Attack, it has evolved to the Death Battle channel now, so where they just take two icons and put them up against each other. They splintered off into a separate gaming group called Game Attack, which has now been rebranded to Hang Time, where they're still going strong to this day with an old Screw Attack worker by the name of Sean Boland, who owns the company, with his best buddy Grayson, his wife Chelsea, and a varying array of special guests that have come and gone over the years. But what inspired me is just the way that they try to innovate. They're always coming up with new ideas through the years. And it's something that I've always tried to adapt, not only in my video editing or in my content creation, but also my live streaming. Like, they're so unique because, like, back in the day, like, just playing a game was enough. You could pick up a video game, play it, and you get an audience. Nowadays, you kind of need a hook. And I think with Hang Time now, they've got a bunch of great ideas that can really entertain. It is absolutely criminal that they don't have more viewership. I highly recommend, if you guys have ever fallen off of Screw Attack because of the split and just going into Death Battle, go check out Hang Time, man. Like, Sean and Grayson are just like two of the nicest guys in the world, who work their asses off to try and entertain you. But yeah, just in the style of doing those types of videos is what inspired me to keep doing videos and live streams. I'm pretty sure that, like, if I ever emulate something, I always give Boland and Grayson credit for the original idea, because they come up with some pretty innovative stuff over at Hang Time, and I like to let them know that they keep inspiring me to do better, and I'll continue to watch as long as they're online. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about, like, live streaming and how I got the itch to start doing it myself. So we ones will remember the days of Justin TV, the predecessor to Twitch TV. So this was just a site that anyone could broadcast to. It was mostly like live streaming. So several people just, turning on their webcam, turning on their microphone, and just, living their lives on camera. There are some people that were doing, broadcasts, but the one that really got me into live streaming myself was a man by the name of Jason Love, and his persona Man vs. Game. So I came across him on Justin TV many years ago. It was just a dude sitting on his couch with a green screen overhead, minimizing himself in the middle, just playing games. And his trick was to play them on the hardest difficulty possible, because every game, he said, like, his motto was beating every game as hard as possible that deserved it. Later on, when the Souls games started to become more prevalent, he became more of a Soulsborne streamer. But I remember the early days, I think he was doing a 24-hour stream, and he was just trying to beat Ninja Gaiden legit, and just watching him struggle and fail and then overcoming it was one of the great moments there. And I was just like, you know what, I want to do that myself. That's when I researched into trying to find, like, now OBS didn't exist. There were very few softwares that you could get that would broadcast yourself over the internet. But then when, you know, XSplit started coming out, and OBS, and then Streamlabs OBS, or desktop as it's now called, it became more accessible for people to stream. And then this was like back in the day where, like, monetization did not exist. You just did it because you wanted to entertain an audience, and I love that. Going back and, like, you know, going back to some of my earlier streams too, was just, hey, I just, you know, I know I played these NES games 100 times, but it's just something that I want to replay and share with an audience, anyone that wanted to watch or chat or do anything. But yeah, Jason was the first one that I seriously watched and follow. And he doesn't do it anymore, unfortunately. He has backed away from streaming and just is living a normal life. But man, like, if you ever watch this, so you know that you are one of my main inspirations to live stream on Twitch, and to various other places too. Like, there's been so many sites that have come and gone. But if I didn't catch you sitting on your couch playing Ninja Gaiden and just triumphantly finally being the final boss, and just the way that you entertained your fans, I don't think I would be doing this. So thank you, man. I hope you come back someday, even if it's just to, like, you know, casually do it. I hope you come back to streaming someday. So there's one that I heavily inspired by, not only for, like, content, but also for live streaming as well. That is Maximilian Dude and Yo Video Games as a whole. I discovered Max actually on the Screw Attack website, because at the time they would put in user created content and push it to the front of the page. And the first video I ever saw of his was his boss rage on Shadow Jago in Killer Instinct. And I watched it, it's like, oh, okay, so he was one of the first ones I saw that would actually take his live content and edit it down into YouTube digestible content, just like with the edits, and he was basing it around a story. And I really enjoyed those, and it made me go back and watch some of his other boss rages, and I instantly subscribed, and then also instantly went to his Twitch. Unfortunately, because he lives out on the west coast of California, there's not a whole lot of times that I can actually stay up late and watch it. And that's when I found the Yo Video Games, so where, like, you know, most of the stuff is archived and that's edited down to digestible content. But through Max, that's where I discovered a whole community of people through Yo Video Games. So that's where you get your co-hosts like Simmons, Steve, Kenny, and his wife Jessica, and then their, you know, extended crew of editors and other content creators, and, you know, people that they team up with. And I think what drew me to Max too was also just, like, his genuineness for the things that he's excited for. When I went into his YouTube channel after watching the boss rage, I looked back at his reactions, and the reactions he had were just like the reaction to KI was just so genuine. And then you watch that one too where they announced Final Fantasy VII was coming out on PlayStation 4, but it was just an upscale version, and he was just so defeated. He thought it was going to be a remake, and then years later he gets the remake, and watching his journey, watching everything get developed. I think one of the ones, and like the one reaction, like my wife and I, because she became a fan as well, we'll go back to, is his reaction to Cloud being introduced into Smash Brothers on the Wii U, and just how, like, genuinely excited he is. It's very hard for me to, like, enjoy React content nowadays, but, like, when I see someone, like, genuinely happy about the thing that they're watching, it fills me with excitement, and I was like, I want to be excited for him, and then, you know, I wonder if there's stuff that's on there that I can get excited for, and that's why he kind of inspired me. He inspired me so much, I bought his vinyl figures with Yo Video Games and Benny. If you ever watch any of my streams and you, like, look at some layouts or, like, how things pop up, there's direct inspiration from Max. So again, Max and crew, thank you so much for what you do, and I try my best to be as as big of a content creator as you guys with my small numbers, just for the sheer fact that like I want to entertain, and I want to share the things that I love with an audience. So again, one of my bigger inspirations is Maximilian and Yo Video Games. And finally, I want to talk briefly about a group unfortunately is no longer together. They are doing their own separate thing, but one of the other inspirations I had as far as like is YouTube content creation was the Super Best Friends, Matt, Pat, Wooly, and Liam. I don't know how I initially discovered Matt and Pat of the Best Friends before they became Super Best Friends. It might have been when I was browsing through Machinima or collab with someone else. I'm trying to remember, but I was instantly hooked. And you know, the fact that they're Canadian as well, like I always love to support Canadians through this content creation thing. Watching them be excited about certain franchises kind of inspired me to give them a little try too. Like I would say they're one of my first content creators that I considered influencers, because they influenced me to try other styles of game. Like their love for Platinum made me go, hey, maybe I should check out Platinum. And I fell in love with the Bayonetta series and Vanquish. Now, not everything they do is my cup of tea. Like they are really big into the Yakuza series. I did attempt to play Zero. It wasn't for me. Listen, I still think it's a great game and it's a great series, and I'm happy for people that love it. Just wasn't for me. But you know, if it wasn't for their playthroughs, I wouldn't have gone out and tried it myself. Now, I know it's not for me, but I still appreciate them going through and doing that. Or influencing me to try out Yakuza. Now, again, sadly, like I said, they're no longer together, but they're still thriving in their own respect. But yeah, like if it wasn't for those initial videos, I don't know where my taste would be. But I want to thank the Super Best Friends for so many years of entertainment, and I'm glad that you guys are doing well in your own individual endeavors, and I hope you guys continue to be successful. So again, the Super Best Friends are another big inspiration of mine to do content. That's basically all I have right now. Like I want to talk more about that. Like obviously there's more. I mean, like some of the bigger groups out there is just not a whole lot of time in one video. But if you guys like this video, please let me know. Leave a comment down below of people that may inspired you to do content creation, or maybe if you're not a content creator, tell me someone that does inspire you. And you know, if you're thinking about doing it, do it. Like you're not going to be promised success, but if you're doing it for the fun of it, you know, what the hell, just go for it, right? But again, if you guys like this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you want another part of this, because like there are so many other people and other content creators that have inspired me to do this that I didn't have enough time to get into this one. So again, if you want a sequel to this, let me know in the comments down below. But until then, I'm Giant Chase, and I got a lot more games to play. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.